Welcome to the Bass and Brews podcast, your weekly distraction from other high-quality podcasts. And now, your host, Alex from Swamp Rat Fishing, and the co-hostess with the mostest, the Jabberhammer, Paul Roberts.
And will hey-oh! We can't hear you, Alex. You're muted, dumbass. You're muted.
I'm a professional.
Hey-oh!
What's up, everybody?
Hey, you just did that intro twice, and we only
did.
heard it once.
I think that's I think the problem with that is so for the longest time we would go around the room, talk about what everybody's drinking, and we got away from it, right? But I'm gonna tell you what, I'm drinking these Cutwater margaritas. They are, as Paul would say it, they are 12.5 alcohols. Pretty money.
Alex is dropping shit on the podcast tonight. He's going to drop something or fuck something up, which he has already done. He muted himself at the beginning.
It's been a long week, and you know who really cares about how long my week was? Fucking nobody. So let's get to our guests. Derek Morrissey Fishing. How are you, Derek? Welcome to the show.
Doing great. Thanks for having me, guys. Much appreciated.
Stoked to have you on. I initially followed your stuff on Instagram, and I saw you kind of dip the toe into TikTok, but I love the content that you put out. It's solid stuff. And, you know, usually we get folks who are like, you know, they do a little bit here and there, but it's time to get back to like our roots of having like just a true content creator on. So we're really happy to have you on.
Oh, well, I appreciate you referring me, you know, as a content creator. That's kind of cool. Appreciate it.
He's just telling you that because he's jealous of you.
Yeah.
The only people he calls content creators are the ones he's jealous of. He thinks he's better than, but doesn't have as many followers. Yeah, it's all jealousy.
It's not all about the numbers. People are
never
too focused on numbers.
Oh, exactly. Easy now. Don't fall into his trap.
I've always told people I'd rather have 1,000 followers that are engaging than 10,000 unengaging followers.
Not me. I love user 893. I love user 8935248. That looks like, you know, a model from Sports Illustrated.
Yep.
Those are my biggest fans
nowadays. It's so
those are
bad.
The biggest fans. And every now and again, they even ask me for, like, you know, to DM them when they can DM me, but I'm not putting in the work.
Somebody needs to make a I mean, I'm sure somebody's done it, but like just a whole channel dedicated to trolling the bots, just consistently.
Oh, that would be great.
Like, I mean, I'm sure you guys have had it where you're on Instagram, you do a post, and like as soon as you send it, you're like, oh shit, I already got people reacting, and you look and it's like 9 bots who are like, share this, and like a fishy emoji and some other bullshit. And I used to, you know, take time out of my day to make sure I even, you know, responded to them with some snide remarks. But I'd really like to see somebody go down the rabbit hole with one of those DM prostitution bots.
It wouldn't be fun though, because there would be interaction back, because I know this because still when somebody mentions something on mine or my comment on somebody, like I got comment chains on other people's videos where bots have commented on my comment or something or another. And, you know, I write some gibberish that takes up every word that you can put in the thing before it cuts you off, and I hit send.
So you break the bot is what it is. Like they don't know how to deal with the Jabberhammer. They're not programmed for that.
They're not there for that shit. They're there to do their little thing, and then they move on to the next chump.
Yeah.
I wonder how we can do that. How about let's do a call out to all the brewskis. Maybe somebody's into like computer science. How do we make a Bass and Brews bot that like every fishing video goes, hey, this is cool, but you know what's cooler? Bass and Brews Fishing Podcast. And then we just become like spam lords of sending that out everywhere. We actually just stop putting out episodes. We just focus solely on our AI-driven chat bot.
That would cause waves. I think people would they'd look at that and be like, oh my God, is this real? Like,
right.
And then if it's not a normal bot.
And then we'll like switch it up. We'll have one that's like really nice and uses emojis, and obviously that's my personality. that of like a 16-year-old girl. But then we'll have another one who just talks gibberish, like the Jabberhammer bot, who it's just a bunch of gibberish, but like the words fish, eat, caviar, all in that.
This whole idea is stupid as fuck.
Listen, they all can't be bangers. Sometimes you got to have a bad idea. All right.
Yeah, we all.
Everyone you say on this podcast is always a bad idea.
No way. No.
Live, yes.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we've had some better ones in the back in the green room. Anyways, Paul, give the spiel about. Tell us your story, how you came to be about. Go for it.
So I started fishing when I was.
Not you, Paul. Nobody gives a shit about you.
You just asked me to give the spiel of where I was, how I got fish. Started.
No,
fishing.
I'm done giving this spiel. I'm done giving this spiel. You give Derek the spiel so we can move the show. Listen, you got to do one job.
I finished 7th in our local tournament this past weekend, which fucking should have been last anyway because I didn't make no money. Derek, what has brought you in front of us two assholes today? Whenever the people are listening to this show Friday at 5 a.m., what is the journey that has brought you here to Bass and Brews podcast?
Man, the journey. Well, honestly, I was late in the game when for fishing. I've been fishing, like seriously bass fishing, for probably the past 5 years, and 3 of those years would be out of a kayak. I tend to, like, when I get into things, I like, I don't really tiptoe in. I kind of just jump all in,
Oh yeah.
So you're either medicated or unmedicated with some form of ADD, ADHD, or some kind of attention deficit disorder that makes you splurge on whatever the flavor of the month is.
Yeah. I wish I would have found fishing a lot sooner. I mean, I always like fished and stuff. I mean, we go camping and tie on a worm and a bobber and everything, and whatever happened. But no, I got into the serious side of things like 5, maybe 6 years ago. But I had my own house painting company that I did Instagram stuff for and everything. So I already kind of knew a little bit about the, social media side of things, and then realized what the fishing, can kind of do with it, and just kind of jump started from there. And then now here I am.
This brings up an interesting point, and it's making me think back to a lot of these episodes we've done with content creators. I would say, because we've talked about growing the sport and bringing people into fishing. How many people has social media, Instagram and YouTube, brought into the sport of fishing, where folks just maybe did a little bit, like he said, back in the day, and then they're like, fuck this, I'm going to start making fishing content, and they got into fishing more serious because of making content on the internets.
That's more than people assume.
More than kayak.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, because I think, like, when you start digging into it too, it adds another layer to the hobby, right? It becomes, my job's out there, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to catch a fish, it's going to be fun, but oh man, maybe I want to take this cool picture, or I want to take this cool video on top of it. It kind of adds more layers to the dip, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a fine line that, people can ride with that, though, because then, people all of a sudden, they go all in to the point where it's now all of a sudden like they're going out and it's a job.
Right.
And they lose that fun aspect. So that's where you got to kind of, ride that line a little bit.
That's a great point.
I don't know. There ain't nothing fun about fishing. I mean, in my humble opinion, I'm going to win money. Fuck fun.
Yeah.
I can have fun watching TikTok or picking on Alex.
Paul, hey, did you ever go? Hold on, Paul. You don't ever go fun fishing?
I mean, if we hop in somebody's boat, but if I'm gonna drag that big, heavy ass fucking kayak out, hell no, I ain't going fun fishing. Huh. Hey, did you ever recover from your scooter fall a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I was able to recover enough to become a. I forgot the name of it. I lost the joke. Did you see the other video where it was like a little person throwing like a ball at track and field, and then they showed like a small olive popping onto a pizza.
Oh
Yeah, that was a good one. You were practicing your shot put, is what that
shot put
is called in track and field.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
that
recovered
was a
from
good
the
one,
scooter
too.
accident. I recovered from the scooter accident. And I was able to do that. Thanks, Paul. But
Oh,
your
good.
beard looks wonderful today.
Yeah, I haven't brushed it in like 3 days, so
It looks like it, but
yeah, I know.
it's gross.
I know. You're
all right.
gross.
So what part of the country are you out of, Derek?
New Hampshire. So
New
northeast.
Hampshire.
Yeah. I could be in better fishing areas for largies, at least. I'm more of I guess smallmouth would be my territory.
Shit, Cogue
I
ain't
enjoy more, honestly.
Cogue ain't far from you, and they put up the damn top like 7 had to have 95 inches and 100 inches one. Don't be talking about little fish up there, y'all bunch of liars. Y'all been trying to keep the Southerners from coming up there wearing your fishing poles out. Talking about we ain't got no big fish, and they got fucking kayak tournament up there with.
Well, see, that's where it's
95
different.
inches didn't win.
It's different in the kayak scheme of things because inches matter and everything. So yeah, we've got long fish, but I mean, our state record largemouths 10 pounds 10 ounces.
That's way bigger than mine.
I mean, that's not that big though compared to the majority of the country and everything.
I don't know, man. I feel like, all right, I'm gonna look this up live
Texas,
on this.
California and Florida. I mean, shit.
I mean, those are huge. But what about like Missouri?
I mean, all the southern states, they seem to just have bigger fish.
Well, they do.
We got a longer growing period.
Yeah,
we got a longer growing period. Y'all got bigger deer because them bitches got to survive winter.
Yeah, no, that's true. I would much rather prefer, on like a Tuesday, just going out and that 10 pounder, is just there,
Basically, Derek is taking a stance that I fully believe in. And Derek is basically saying that if you fish from the South, you're kind of a pussy about it. All your fish are big. It's easy to be a bass fisherman in those states because everything's big. And I agree with you.
That's not what I'm with
you. I'm with you.
No one bit.
Nope, that's the clip we're going to cut right there for all the social media. Derek says that anybody who fishes where it's hot are a bunch of bitches.
I made a reel about that earlier. One of those little like violin ones.
Yeah. I never feel bad for them. I mean, it gets hot like in Texas. I get it, but no, you're in like Texas is like Bass Candy,
so
Bass
hot.
Factory. Yeah,
I'm out here still fishing though.
Yeah,
and then everybody's like, "Oh, like, well, you can ice fish," and I'm like, "Yeah, well, apparently you've never ice fished before."
Did you know that Minnesota's state record is only 8 pounds?
Really?
I'm multitasking here. Montana's 9 pounds.
I know, like there's some place in Alaska or something like that.
No, there's none
or something.
No, there's none. So they stripped that all from the records.
Really?
Yeah. So I listened to this whole podcast about it. It was a big deal. And it was, I think like 10, maybe 20 years back when they found somebody had transported a largemouth into Alaska. It is extremely evasive up there.
Yeah.
It will wreak havoc on that ecosystem.
It's extremely evasive. That's the wrong word, buddy. Invasive. Evasive
you're absolutely
means
right.
that
no, you're right.
Elusive, hard to catch, can't see.
Well, I mean, they are up there because there's none to be found.
There's none. Exactly. Thank you, Derek. Look at that. I got a new co-host coming on. He's always agreeing with me.
That wasn't how he was. That wasn't the fucking sentence, though, you dumbasses. You illiterate fuck.
But no, and it was a big deal. And when they caught it, it got locked up with the Alaska State Police.
Yeah.
And they were trying to run like this, like they were working hard and they still haven't figured out who introduced it. It was like 2 bass they found in this lake. And
no, the only reason they locked those fish up was to eat. They wanted to eat them bastards. They didn't give a fuck that they were in
trying to
Alaska.
rip on some lips and
put
away.
All right. Well, okay. Well, one, nobody in Alaska, I think, is trying to rip bass lips. Honestly, I think the people were probably more pissed about it. They were like, oh, what is this small trout that I have that I can eat? Oh, it's some freeze-dried fucking largemouth bass that somebody FedExed in. Great. All right. Wyoming.
What's your biggest fish, Derek?
Oh,
what's the biggest bass you've caught, large and small?
Like 5 3/4 for a largie, and it was just shy of 5 pounds for a smallmouth.
Good small.
All in the same day within 2 hours of each other.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Even
That's
better.
a good day.
Yeah. Yeah.
The biggest smallmouth I ever caught was like 4 inches, literally, if that.
What?
I'm about to go chase a bunch of smallmouth on Champlain next Thursday through Monday.
Yeah, you were telling me about it. Tell us about this trip.
Yeah, so there's a group of us guys who, we've all, two of them are buddies of mine from my area, and the rest are social media friends. And I went last year. I drove to Michigan to go see Mike Goes Fishing. We met up.
Big props to Mike.
At St. Clair and Lake Huron for a few days. He's driving down to my house this upcoming Wednesday. And then Dilby Fishing, Dylan, he's coming. He's from Jersey. He's coming Wednesday as well. And then I got
good luck
2
with
Florida
him.
buddies.
Keep your eye on him.
Yeah.
Nah, he's from North Jersey. He's completely civilized, probably.
Yeah, and then 2 Florida boys.
Oh shit! Y'all gonna learn how to fish. Y'all gonna learn how to fish on that trip.
Yeah, we rented a cabin. It's gonna be right. It's right on the water and everything. It's gonna be it's gonna be an experience. But that's what I love about social media is, that this trip legit. My trip last year to St. Clair never would have happened if it wasn't for social media.
See, and that's
be
the
careful.
awesome side.
You're gonna end up like me and Alex.
Yeah.
Over here talking shit about each other all the time.
We do all the time. We're in like a group chat and everything, and
see, our shit's out here for the public to see.
Except for Paul's constant sending me of TikToks of provocative ladies dancing that are, some people might think they're attractive. I personally don't think that they are traditionally attractive. So that's like Paul's new favorite game, I guess.
I'll start sending you all my kitty cat TikToks that I save.
I was like, man, you better be careful with how you say that, because I was talking about unsexy ladies, and you're like, I'm gonna send you some kitty, and I'm like, he's like, cat.
I was waiting for a big X to come on the screen. Everything drops down.
Right, FBI instantly shuts us down.
Hey, real quick story that somebody, a past guest of the show, current friend of the show, Abide Fishing, Josh, he posted a video a few weeks ago in a rainstorm. It started hailing on him, and then he did like a little sped up video of him kind of changing into some dry clothes and shit. And he's taking off his socks. He had somebody hit him up on Instagram and asked how much he would sell his socks for, and so he sold them to the guy who asked. He sold them. He sold his
for
socks.
How much?
I can't disclose that information, but it was he probably if he
want to give away the going rate for socks.
Yeah, he could probably buy 50 packs of socks for what he sold them for.
Listen, if that guy's out there, I've got plenty of socks. I
will sell him worn underwear, and they can come worn and clean or worn with racing stripes. The price, we can negotiate prices.
Right.
That's a whole market. That's a whole market. Yeah, that's a friend of mine. So the ship that I just left, they're on patrol right now. They just left Japan. And they said there was legitimately a vending machine that was for clean underwear that you could purchase. And then a vending machine next to it that said worn underwear, that you could purchase worn underwear at like 1 PM from a vending machine. Listen,
different times. We live in different times.
Like, I want to get rid of the vending machine. Listen, me and Paul will directly send you our undies for the low price of we'll talk about it. Like, we'll do a package.
Bottom number for mine are $100.
Bottom number, Paul, is $100.
$100.
Bottom number for me is like $5.
No, mine's 100. If you want my damn draws, it's $100.
$100.
Derek, I got to replace them.
Derek, what's your bottom number to sell your used underwear online?
Oh man, I mean, it depends what they are. I rock with them Dynasty ones, so they got all them cool like pictures and shit on them.
Yeah, no, we're talking like Walmart.
12 years old, you got pictures on your underwear. You buy your
shit
out the kitty
they're
section?
very provocative.
Superman and shit.
No, they're provocative as shit pictures. They're like X-rated. Like my kids will pick them up, and I'm like, no. Put those down because they'll start looking at them, and you're like,
so you buy your underwear from
into this bun.
So you buy your underwear from the stores that have 18 and up only, and the flashing lights out front, no windows on the building. You have to park in the back.
Yeah, there's someone checking IDs in the front.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, these are very provocative.
You see.
I did though, like as Paul said that. I'm sorry, Derek. I did imagine. What was that, Paul? Oh, Paul, you're the worst. Anyways, I imagine Paul's like, you got, and there's just a grown man putting on like the Superman whitey tighties that we had as a kid. Like, I wonder if I did that, Paul. We should do this. We should do this for a video, right? Let's try to find our size in Superman underwear. We have to catalog how long it takes for our wives to notice that we're wearing Superman underwear.
I'm sorry, I can't wear Superman underwear because they're probably going to come in like the high cut Manny type, and I've got my thighs rubbed together, so I have to wear like boxer briefs so I don't get chafing.
We can do boxer briefs. I will find us boxer briefs.
Not boxers, though. They got to be tight to the skin.
You might be able to look on that website, and they might have them.
But I wonder.
Let me tell you, they're the softest undies you'll ever. You treat yourself.
See, can you wear more than once? Can you wear more than one day in a row and then still feel clean?
I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Well, no, but I'm just asking. I mean, okay.
Yeah, Paul, I believe they're antimicrobial.
Paul, do you not change your underwear every day?
Oh, every day I have to, because they get stretched out and they're like boxers instead of boxer briefs.
Yeah, but it sounds like you were looking for a solution to not have to change them out every day.
No, I'll just ask a simple question. That's all.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, if you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, yeah.
I mean, if you're stuck between a rock and a hard place and you've got the graphic from the old Hookups skateboard company on your bum, they're probably the best way to go. Yeah.
100%.
Hey, Alex, you can probably buy all your underwear out the kids section. I mean, you can't be that much bigger than a 10-year-old.
I'm not going to talk about 10-year-olds on this podcast.
Yeah.
That's how you get canceled real quick, Paul. Like we have a lot of leash. That's a real quick way to get that leash.
This is a new part of the pre-intro before your intro.
Exactly. Now, there's rules. It's going to have to be. Yeah.
This is number 5 now.
Yep. Number 5. Don't talk about 10 and unders.
Well, I mean, don't you buy your clothes out the kids section?
No, dude.
I don't. Like a boys medium or something?
Nope, I'm not. Are you Are you insinuating? I mean, a medium. Thank you for the compliment. Happy that I'm a medium. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? And thank you for the kind compliments. Everybody knows that you're known for complimenting me on my physical appearance and things I can't help. So I really appreciate that, Paul.
That's okay. That's okay.
That's very nice of you.
We still love you.
I'm just, he's throwing all this hate, and I'm just trying to, nanny boo boo, stick your head in doo doo.
Oh man,
I'm just trying to make our guests feel as fucking uncomfortable as I possibly can.
I think you're killing it right now. All right, so you say you're a small mouth guy. Let me hear your top 3 baits and why.
Oh, smallmouth.
I mean, for any fishing, but your top 3 baits.
So a jerk bait. Jerk bait.
Are you throwing that thing year round?
Yeah, year round.
Spinning gear or casting?
Casting.
Okay.
I run pretty heavy with rods on my kayak. I think I'm at like 13 at this point.
What kind of kayak do you have?
They're all specific to something.
Right. What kind of kayak do you have?
NuCanoe Unlimited.
Okay. Unlimited space, obviously.
I'm part of the NuCanoe fishing team. So
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's an amazing fishing kayak.
NuCanoes, and I think I've mentioned it before, like Hobies for like the bougie folks, right? Old Town is kind of for like your chads because it's got a motor in it. NuCanoes for like your dude that's like, hey, I'm not into a Pelican. I'm better than that, but I still live in a trailer. Like, it is the most DIY friendly kayak on the market. Huge room, huge space to do whatever you want, but you got to do the work for it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a very open kind of platform. I mean, they don't say it's not called the Unlimited for no reason.
Right.
I mean, there's a ton of stuff that you can do with that kayak. I wouldn't say it's like an intro kayak by any means. You know, it's more like you have an idea of what you want, and this gives you the options of being able to do that.
What kayak did you start in?
Oh God, an Ascend 10T.
Yes, Ascend 10T crew.
Yeah,
me too.
That thing's a death trap. I can't tell you the amount of times I have called my girl in situations and being like, listen, if this is the last phone call that I make to you, like, I love you. Like,
I make my wife fish out of that one.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's a death trap, honey. If you don't hear back from me, blah blah blah, and then y'all go fishing that next weekend and you take her out and you stick her ass in that one.
That's how you get a pedal. That's how you get a really nice kayak real quick, is when you put her in the shitty one.
Yeah, right. They realize how unsafe it is.
I remember,
like, I can't have you out there like this.
I'd see all these dudes standing in their kayaks, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to stand in that 10T. And whoa, that is it's a shaky deal, but it's hard to even get up from the seat. So I'd have like a dog leash attached to the front so I could, like, you know, a stand-up assist, but then God forbid, like, I never caught a fish standing up in that boat, thank God, because setting the hook, I think I would have fell out of it.
Oh, I fished a good season and a half out of that thing. I don't know how I didn't flip.
Yeah.
I had one like real bad experience in it, and then that was it. Never got back in that thing. Put it up. I was done fishing like probably 3 weeks earlier than I normally would have for the season. Just because I was like, you couldn't pay me to go back out in that thing.
But it has so many good storage solutions. No, it doesn't have that either. It just has a roto molded front where you can maybe put something. And what's funny is I remember that was my first one, and I watched all these videos on like modding kayaks. I put so much dumb shit on that thing. And then I had to, like, I would spend like a whole weekend putting in like wooden seat risers, because that's what everybody was doing with the Ascends, right?
Yeah.
And then I get out there, I sit on it, and it's like, now you're too top heavy for it. And I was like, well, now I got to take all this fucking 2x4s out of it. And it was heavy as shit because I had 2x4s sitting on this fucking thing.
Yeah.
I tried to run a fish finder on it. God forbid you try to paddle that thing with that stupid arm over the side, because you're just getting yanked to that side the whole fucking time. Like, and the thing already paddles like a piece of shit. But I highly recommend it, actually, for a first boat. I think that's better than when people get like the Sun Dolphins. I mean, there's better choices, but the Ascend isn't bad to get in. I still think, what is it, the Seagulls?
For the money.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think I got mine for like $300 or $400 off of Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
And it's what sparked, you know, I mean, from there, I was like, all right, this is something I'm going to do a little bit more. And so then I didn't feel bad about, you know, dropping thousands of dollars.
Doing what Paul did. Paul did like 3 trips in a kayak and then went to a Hobie.
I mean, I looked at the Hobie PA 14s prior to getting
nice
into a
boats.
new
They're
canoe.
just crazy expensive.
I mean, I was
Well,
right
I
up
bought mine
there.
used.
Yeah.
All said and done, I mean, I could have gotten
With everything that you put into the new canoe.
yeah.
That
But
is a good point. That is definitely not a beginner-friendly boat. And I mean, and nothing against the boat. I've never been in one. I've heard great things. I've never heard anybody talk bad about them. Like everybody's had gripes about, different platforms, but that one feels like I don't hear new canoe owners bitching too much about it. Other than that, like you've got exactly what you said. You've got to know what you want to do because you got a lot to work with and it's made to be modified, not like standard out the gate.
yeah. And I mean, like, I'm not a big dude by any means. So for like the smaller people, that thing, I mean, it's 43 inches wide.
Yeah. For days.
I mean, it's like, I feel like
that's
I'm on
not
the deck
even
of a
Jabberhammer's
fast boat.
hip size, but you'll be fine.
I mean, I can walk around that thing, like
Yeah.
take steps and everything. I'm like, it's weird. And then, I mean, I fish at smaller ponds in it. And I mean, I've gone to big places in it. And
are you just paddle or does I don't know. Does New Canoe have a pedal system or?
Yeah, they got a pedal system.
Okay. Is it
Yeah,
fins or a prop?
It's my New Canoe's rated for like a 2.5 power outboard for the back, which I believe Honda is who puts it out.
Put a Honda on that bitch.
Yeah.
New Canoe's pedal, is it prop or fins?
Prop.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least they got that right. So instant reverse, all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's the pivot drive. It's a very good. It's one of the better pedal systems.
Nice.
And I'm not just like saying that.
Yeah.
I'm, Team New Canoe or whatever. But
what I think, as much as I give Paul shit and Hobie as a whole, I think all of them have a place on the market. They really do. Like Hobie does a great job. Their product is the Cadillac for a reason. I don't like that it doesn't have instant reverse, but maybe some people don't need that.
I mean,
what Paul? What are you shaking your head?
I like instant reverse in my car.
Right.
Comes in handy.
Paul, what are you shaking your head about? Do they have instant reverse?
Not everybody needs instant reverse.
Right.
I mean, I don't
exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And then also like folks with mobility issues, that motion on the Hobie is supposed to be better than the bicycle motion on the prop drives, basically. So like if you have issues with your hips and knees, I've had guys ask, like, what should I get? And I tell them, like, go for a Hobie style because that's going to be easier on your hips and knees than the bicycle style. So
I'm just lazy and I want to fish more. So I went power.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If you got mobility issues, just get a boat that you can put a trolling motor on and be done with it.
I did the whole paddle thing.
Oh, fuck that noise.
Fuck paddling.
That is like, that gets old fast.
I don't even like paddling.
It's great with zero wind. If you have zero wind every time you went out, wouldn't be that big of a deal.
But as soon as you fart, it's like your whole kayak spins 360 instantly.
Yeah.
No, fuck that. I even hate when I have to where I launch out of, I've got to pull up the drive so I can paddle in, a little bit. I fucking even hate that. Like, I hate having to bring a paddle at all. I just wish I could use that little holder on the side to hold snacks instead of a fucking paddle. Like, I'd really like to get to that level. Old Town, can we figure out how to make a 6-inch clearance drive?
Yeah,
but still the same performance. If you guys can figure that out, that'd be great.
Yeah, we need the
Paul.
E1
What are you staring at, Paul? We're in the middle of an interview. And you're staring at your phone on TikTok. What are you doing?
I'm sending a text to my wife. Thank you. I'm trying to answer her questions so she allows me to continue to come out here every week.
It's podcast
Smart
time.
Man.
No, it's not. No, it's podcast time. Amanda knows that it's Bass and Brews time, so it instantly means no talkie. I block her completely, delete her from my phone until we get off the show. I don't know why you don't have the same commitment.
Swipe.
Yeah, exactly.
Airplane mode.
I don't know why you don't have the same, commitment that I do, Paul. It's just very disappointing. People have been sending me DMs they're like, hey, we've been watching you guys on YouTube, and why is Paul always staring at his phone? It's just rude. You know what I mean?
You guys telling me you didn't lock your better halves in the closet upstairs?
No, I did. Well, not even
no,
upstairs. I left her outside.
Not me, because mine is putting my wild ass boy to bed, and if she wasn't doing it, then I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, yeah. I
You know what I do miss?
One kid to sleep.
So behind the scenes, we used to record on Tuesdays, right? We had to move because of my job and some other stuff, but I feel like we've been missing the Can't Look Carter cameos, because on Tuesdays he'd pop in all the time, like, "What's up?"
Well, it's because we're starting so late. It's not the day of the week. It's just we start so late. But yeah, he like pop his little head in. He's a YouTube star. That dude is the only person I have ever met that reached his daily limit of YouTube videos.
Is he uploading more?
Wow.
I mean, he uploaded so many numerous times. He's reached his daily upload limit. But he puts out his YouTube videos all the time.
Perfect.
He's a trooper. He's better at it than me.
I was about to say he's better than his dad at being a content creator. That's awesome. It's really funny.
How it starts.
Right. So what's really funny is I put out this short, and it was the one where I talked about using dynamite to catch more fish. And I got a comment randomly, and it says, "Hello, weird comment, but do you have daughters?" And I was like, yeah, okay. I looked at the name. The name said Michaela. I won't say the last name, but it sounded like a female name. I don't know. So I was just like, yeah. And they go, "I think I know your oldest." And I was like, what? And so I go to my oldest, and she goes, "Oh yeah, that's like my best friend. I tell everybody to go to Swamp Rat fishing. It's like her little 9-year-old friend." And I was like, and she was like, yeah. She said she subscribed. And I was like, you need to get on your little kid's messenger thing and tell her, do not listen to the podcast. Do not. That is not appropriate for children.
Yeah, my son was like, "I tell all my friends to subscribe to your YouTube." I was like, "Boy, no. No. Your friends do not subscribe to nothing of mine. Don't do that."
Thank you for that, but no.
I don't even think those subscribers count. They don't even get added because they're underage.
No, they do. There was this area that I fished, and there was a young kid, and he lived on the property, and I would fish in front of his house all the time. And for like 3 years, this kid, like, he basically found my channel when I first started. And until they moved last year, this kid would comment on every single video.
Oh, man.
And he was 12 when I met him. Yeah, he's 12 when I met him. And they eventually moved out of there. Shout out to them. They're awesome. Just so you know, the people that bought your house are fucking dickheads, though. They're fucking tool bags who are trying to like gate up their whole property. Go fuck themselves. Like,
hey, Derek, so what are your other 2 favorite bass fishing lures? Since Alex has asked you the question and then completely railroaded this thing off the tracks into the water.
I can't remember how it spun off of jerk baits to where we're at now, but
12-year-old
welcome to Bass and Brews.
Yeah.
You're never, just to let you know, you're never gonna finish these last 2. Just FYI.
A drop shot.
All right, what do you are you throwing? What's your preferred drop shot bait?
I got it right here.
$10 says it's that glitch.
Nope.
Oh,
where the hell?
You owe me $15, Alex.
Oh, right here.
I'll take that at all the money you owe me for hosting the podcast.
I will add that onto all the money that I generated while you were gone.
All right. What is that? I'm sorry. Meathead. I've never.
Meathead.
I don't even know what the fuck that is. Oh, look at that. That's fucking phenomenal.
Dude, this thing's got this little paddle tail on it. So for the longest time, I used these on Ned heads.
Uh-huh.
Just because it was something different. And it's great on a Ned. That's because I didn't get into drop shotting until last year. I had a buddy who he swears by it, and he fishes out of a bass boat in tournaments and everything. And he's like, just from a tournament aspect, like, you got a drop shot's a must. So then he kind of showed me the way of the drop shot, and then it's just been a staple. I mean, especially for the smallmouth.
Smallies. Are you fishing that thing? Are you nose rigging that, or are you doing anything different with it?
So it depends really. Most of the time I'll feed it all the way through, you know, just like a jig head, dab of super glue, and then, you know, just kind of squeeze it past the eye. And then for the most part, I mean, you can get a good amount of life out of a bait doing it that way. Nose hooking's good if you're trying to, you know, you get some more finicky fish, you need some more action. Like that's good. You tend to go through more baits that way. Especially those things get tossed ASAP.
Yeah.
They jump once, those things are gone.
Yeah, you do poor people fishing just like me. I go fishing in my buddies' bass boats, and like, you know, they'll take a worm off after a fish or two, and I'm over there and they just throw it, and I'm over there grabbing it, putting it in my damn pockets and shit, you know. I'm like, but I can bite this off at least 5 more times. It doesn't even have a tear. It's just got hook holes in it. They're throwing it off in the boat, man. I'm like the hobo out there looking for fucking cigarettes in the Walmart parking lot, picking up all the bait out of the bottom of their
100%.
boat.
Yeah.
No, that's the only thing I'm bougie about. Like, everybody knows I fish that clout worm in one specific color all the time, right? But I've bought in so many packs of them now that like I'll start a trip and I'll have one, you know, on the hook from the last trip. That bitch goes in the trash because I've got fucking 35 bags of clout worms in June bug red sitting in my kayak at all times. Like, just piss money away. That's what I do.
Yeah,
nice.
I buy a lot of baits, and I'm a bulk buyer. If I find something that I like, I buy a lot of it.
I'm telling you, that color is special on the Tidal River because, like, I fish black and blue, and I've legitimately got less bites than that June bug red. And as soon as I figured that out, I put it in an order to 6 cents, and it was like 25 bags right away. Like, just fucking send them. Just fucking.
Because you're in Jersey. You're in Jersey. It looks like a used tampon, and you know your bass love those.
Oh my god! If we could get that color, like a, this is gonna get real gross, folks. I want a like pearl white stick worm, but I want it to be splotched with red. Yeah, but then also like brown, so it looks like really old, dried up blood. Like I want that really old tampon color. If we can make that happen. Like whoever makes that happen
too. Like it's got to be laminate, so it's just one side is red.
And of course a scent. And that scent you guys can imagine. I just want the nickel. I just want a brass penny scent on it.
And we just lost half of our followers.
You think that we had half female followers?
I don't know. I'm just talking about in general.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You probably gained some. This shit's hilarious.
Do you think we could try? All right, so Fresh Baits is pretty good because they put out that really killer. We had them on the show, and that's when I confessed where there's like a couple lakes where I specifically use their rainbow trout laminate stick bait, right? On a wacky, it's killer right after they stock for trout, right?
Yeah.
But they're really good with colors. Paul, do you think they would make me a used tampon bait?
You'd have to come up with a different name, but I think it's possible.
Could we call it the recycled Fenneman? I can't even do it.
Just stop. Just stop. You've already said Bolton twice today, and nobody knows what the fuck a Bolton is.
Nobody knows what Bolton.
You didn't Bolton worms. You bolt worms.
Don't even come at me on fucking English. Get the fuck out of here. One of us is a professional writer. One of us is not.
It's not me.
You're the first line writers, and then everything else is proofread after. So, I mean, if you write how you talk, people are going to be really fucking shit up with what you're writing for, like in a bad way.
In a bad way, yeah.
Dangerous.
All right. What's number 3? We got him right when he's drinking. It's the perfect
I would
time.
say the bigger baits, like your glide baits and big soft swim baits and everything.
Yeah.
What's your definition of big? What size constitutes big?
I don't know. You'd have to ask my woman.
Boom, there it is. Come on. He beat me to it because I was like, man, if he says a 5-inch paddle tail, I'm fucking huge.
Yeah, right. No, yeah, I commented on somebody's they had posted the new like 5-inch trace or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, go put that in your woman's hand. And as soon as she tells you, wow, babe, that bait's big, just look at her.
Winner.
That's right, it is.
Those baits are beautiful. And I did buy, I don't know if it was the trace. I think it's the trace. I purchased, but you have to get like all this specialized gear, right? So I bought the floating one because that one's only an ounce.
So the trace, you don't really need, like, you can use conventional gear with that. I would throw
but
it
says
on,
like a pound. It says an ounce and 5 ounces for the slows, or 1 pound or 1 ounce, 1.5 ounces for the slow sinking one.
So I was throwing that on a rod that was only rated for like 1.5 ounces max. Just because a rod says, a rating doesn't necessarily mean it's more, so they're not having to like rod warranty this, that, and the other thing.
Not to be the smart ass here, but 1.5 ounces is less than 1.5 ounces.
Correct.
I mean, but you got to also take into consideration like
Paul's
a fish like on the line and everything. I mean, there's a lot that's going on.
That's why I pared down and I went to the floating version. And I love 6 cents, but man, that bait fucking sucks. That floating version, it's gorgeous. That thing fucking lays on its side faster than Paul at a fucking Piggly Wiggly. Like, it just laid on its side the whole fucking time.
You really could have knocked that shit out the fucking park, but you really fucked it up with the punchline. I mean, you really fucked that up.
So last week we had really kind of confrontational cranky Paul. And the week before that, we had really, really confrontational and cranky Paul. Tonight, we've got scholar Paul, Mr. Criticizing Paul the whole time. So I'm sorry for that, Derek. I know you didn't want to step into the realm of this because this is where Paul like had a good week. Probably got lucky this week. His Excel spreadsheets actually made sure he got paid. He's cool and relaxed, so he thinks he's Mr. Sophisticated and just shit on everybody.
I'm not seeing anything wrong with that. You had a good week, man. That's all that matters.
You can have a good week, but not have this superiority complex.
Shit on the world. Everybody else does.
All right, so you definitely ran the gamut there between something like a jerk bait, which is like a mid-range kind of, not finesse, but not power. It could be a little bit of both, right? And then you said you were drop shotting on a bait caster gear. I just made that up. And then they moved to the
it works. I got a buddy that drop shots with a bait caster all day long.
I think that was some videos with Mikey Balls, Bass and Brews alumni, did with JT, right? Where they were doing the like the max drop shot, right? Or was it the max net? I can't remember. There's one of them that they were using casting gear the whole time, and I was like,
probably just need like a BFS reel or something. You'd be fine.
Fuck that, man. That shit's so fucking expensive. Fuck that. Like,
yeah. I certainly wouldn't be getting one just to run a drop shot off of. That seems a bit extreme.
Well, you've got 13 rods that you do everything else specifically with. Why not? Come on. Now.
That's the ADHD aspect.
Nope.
I'm
See, Derek,
I don't want to be cutting shit off and having to tie something. If I want to throw something else, I want to put it down, pick something else up, and go. Only time I'm cutting something off is a color change. That's it.
I started using a drop shot last year, And when you're catching catfish or a bunch of small fish, and this happened to me in this tournament this past weekend, like 4 or 5 times, you get the bitch back, and somehow the fish is tied the greatest knot known to man into your drop shot. And so you have to cut it off and tie all that shit back on. So, having a second one in a tournament setting, having a second one, you just put that bitch back in the back of the boat and deal with it later and throw the other one out there until it gets fucked up. I mean,
are you guys using?
I'm like, I need another one.
Are you guys using? All right, so I've thrown a drop shot here and there, not a lot. But when
I don't leave the house without it. I have a drop shot. 100%
specific setup just for drop shot.
But so the hook, are you doing like a regular drop shot hook where you got to do the whatever knot? And obviously we know I'm not good with knots, I guess. With the long leader, so I cheat. I run that VMC spin shot thing where I just tie to one end and I tie the other one, and I have to do all the extra shit. Do you guys do that or no? No, fuck me. All right, guess me. Cool. Yeah. Well, Derek, you're fired now.
So what knot do you use? I use a dropper loop.
He just told you he does not use a knot.
I don't. I do an
improve
clink.
He ties a half hitch and 2 overhand knots.
He's talking to you, Paul. He's talking to you, Paul.
Oh, I don't know the name of my knot, but what I do is I go up. As a matter of fact, I was fishing with Trey this past Sunday from one cast, and he was showing me the knot. He ties a Palomar and then loops it back through to keep it straight.
Yeah.
Well, I take mine and I make a loop. I make a loop in the leader, and then I put my hook at the top, and I feed my hook through that loop 5 times, and then I just pull it tight. And so, it's that knot. Where
you pull it tight?
I don't know.
Before the eye of the hook.
Hold on.
You might be tying a dropper. That sounds.
This is going to be the best. This is going to be the best for an audio podcast, as Paul describes as knot. This is what people crave. This is what they crave.
All right, I'm going to show you.
As soon as you said you started spinning the two, like that sounds like a dropper.
It sounds like a dropper.
Which
this is my leader.
All right. Yep. He's got a big piece of cord. Yep, and he's making a circle with it.
Cable. Yeah, and imagine my hooks here. I just take my hook through.
He's just spinning it around, folks. Yeah,
and then I
pull
it tight.
Yeah, so
you can,
and then it never tied a knot.
That, and it's always
always pointing
always
straight
parallel, always straight. I don't have to worry about. It's just easy. It's a simple, easy knot.
My thing is with knots is it's easy to learn a knot and tie it in your basement, your living room. You need to be able to tie that shit when your fingers, you can't even feel them because it's so cold out or the wind is kicking, like you need easy knots that work that you can do on the fly. Like all these knots that some people be tying on their like swim baits. I'm like, I don't have 15 minutes to be sitting in my kayak tying this freaking knot. Like,
you know what? And a lot of times, like, go ahead, Paul.
So here's the thing. This is my thing with knots. Everybody ties the knot that they like. I would say the majority of people tie some kind of polymer knot is probably the most common one now. It don't fucking matter what knot you tie as long as that bitch holds.
Yep.
And as long as you're comfortable with it. I mean, that's the whole thing with knots. And I like to keep my shit simple because again, I'm not a finesse person. I just tie that bitch on and go with it. But I find one that is easy for me to learn for that exact reason. But you take that in general, and if you learn a knot and you're good and proficient with it, you never have to worry about it slipping or breaking or any of that shit. Then tie the fucking knot. I mean, there's no wrong knot to tie
as long as it
don't come loose. I mean, you can tie 2 overhand knots and a half hitch.
The knot that you're most comfortable tying.
Yeah, I think where you do need the practice, and you're right, on and off the water would be connection knots, right? So when you're connecting braid to something else.
Yeah, I don't do any leaders.
So I do. Everything I run is like braid to something else. Because
it seems like too much extra stuff that I got to be dealing with.
No, so here's the thing. Yes, it is extra stuff, but that extra stuff's at home. So like if I break that leader knot and I've been known to break a couple knots, obviously, as everybody knows. That rod's done. Or I'll just be like, fuck it, I'm just using braid. Like, because I'm not gonna try to do a connection knot in a kayak on the water. Fuck that.
So
Like,
that'd be like me going out with my 13 rods and coming back to the boat ramp, and I've got one left.
No.
I'd be like, and I'd be like, yeah, I've been fishing with this one rod for the past 10 hours.
Nope.
It's the only one that didn't break.
Every other one off the first 30 minutes into this outing.
I've broken connection knots off, and I legitimately looked, and I'm like, I look at the water, and I'm like, well, fuck, that's dirty enough. Fuck that. I can just go straight braid, and I'll tie like a flick shake. That's what I throw all the time, right? I'm like, fuck that. I'll just throw that thing straight to braid. You are not supposed to do that at all. I don't give a fuck. I'll still throw that bitch out there.
I mean, when I first started, I was braid on everything.
Yep.
I didn't know, like, I knew nothing. So, I mean, I was running crankbaits on braid. Like, I mean, it didn't fucking matter. But I still caught fish. And then all of a sudden I realized, I was like, I think I'm doing a few things incorrectly here. There's ways that I could be bettering my odds.
And if you tournament fish,
I still run braid on crankbaits. I mean, it's got a big ass leader.
Crankbait.
I don't throw them a lot. I have a lot. I don't throw them a lot.
Well, yeah, they're fun to buy. They
are amazing. Do you know they make great Christmas ornaments?
Yeah. They do. I mean, it depends, if you have little children, I recommend taking the hooks off of
I leave them on. You're gonna fucking learn, kiddos.
I dig that approach.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I love when we're grocery shopping and you get them like people that like hold off on pushing their cart into your child. And I'm like, just hit them. I was like, they'll learn. It's like they only get a cart in the ankle every, once or twice before they're like
my daughter
swivel in the grocery store.
My youngest legitimately about 3-4 weeks ago got ran over by an old Italian lady at the fucking grocery store. And I told her, like, you need to watch your six. Like, there's fucking old people here. They don't know what's going on. Quit acting like a fool. She slipped. Lady didn't see her. Ran over her. Legitimately ran over her leg. And she was like, ah. And I'm like, we don't cry in the store. And she's like, okay. She's like, well, it really didn't hurt that bad. I'm like, I know, because all she had was cat food and that fucking... that's all she had. It couldn't have hurt that bad. She's like, yeah, but why didn't she stop? And I was just like, because they don't care. It's okay. Like, not everybody's going to care about you. We do. Mom and dad care about you. But guess what? Old lady Maria doesn't give a fuck about you. She's trying to get enough cat food to feed her cat and herself for the next week. I don't know what to tell you, kid.
How old is she?
7.
7? Yeah, no, it's funny when you get to those ages and they start realizing, like, outside of the house, like, people don't give a fuck about me.
Are you from New Hampshire originally? We got to fucking change the subject. Alex is fucking taking this shit off. Way off.
Oh, no, hold on. Now Paul wants to make this a fishing podcast all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Because he's not drinking.
He's always been from New Hampshire.
Really?
I'm ready to leave, though.
Oh, hey, it's easy. Just pack your shit up and go, man. It's you got a car with semi-instant reverse. I mean, you can make that shit happen.
If I had full custody of my 2 boys, I'd be out of here. Yeah. But I've got 2 kids that are holding me here. But as soon as that time comes, we're out of here. I want warmth 365.
You just that's easy to get. I mean, man, look, New Hampshire's like the size of a county in North Carolina, so I mean, it wouldn't take far to get up out of there.
No, it wouldn't. It'd be really easy too, like you said. Like, so as soon as that day comes, it will be a very easy decision to just up and leave.
Yeah.
Well, go to New Jersey with Alex, and he can take you fishing on Lake X or River X, which I thought that was the name of the river for fucking ever, because apparently it's the greatest river. The greatest river known to man is up there, and he can't say the river name. Not like people can't go search it. New Jersey's like as big as my big toenail. I mean, can't find all the rivers out there.
No, there's like 5 tidal rivers. It's one of the 5 around here, so not counting the Delaware.
1 in 5 chance.
Yep.
We have a lot of water.
State.
Like,
yeah,
it's crazy. I mean, 15 minutes in either direction. I've got
but do you have access to that water?
Most of it, yeah.
Yeah, see, that's we don't have that here. Yeah, no,
I'll find access.
No, New Jersey did this really fun thing where you have these small ponds and small lakes, right?
Yeah.
Then they're completely surrounded by private property and you can't access them.
Haven't they shut down a few of the bigger lakes in Jersey for that?
Hold on.
You've never like just gone up to somebody's house and just been like, yeah, so what day is your trash day? And just offer the...
Nope. And they said, stay the hell off my property. And I've done that. I've done that a couple times, and one of them I got a gun pulled on me. So
I mean, I guess that's I guess so. I'm not Jersey's out of the question of where
South
I'm
Jersey. I mean, South Jersey's nice. Paul, what were you saying? That it's against the law? No,
I'm saying it. Haven't they closed down some of the bigger size lakes in New Jersey? There were public ramps on them, and the homeowner associations have put gates and stuff up. I swear last year at some point, maybe it was on Live, they were talking about that stuff.
No, it's this year. So they did it on the biggest reservoir. It's up in North Jersey. I've never fished it. It's Round Valley, I believe. But they basically changed the hours to where it's like from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m, Monday through Friday. That's the only time it's open. Yeah. And that's their way to still get the public funding and all that, which is bullshit. All of that's bullshit. No, it's a struggle here. Like any small like pond, body of water is usually covered by private, and nobody's willing to budge on anything. And some of that is fishermen's faults, because there was a really awesome spot I had. It was a great pond spot, and it was a great spot to catch fish no matter what you threw, as long as it was an appropriate size, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like for trying out new baits and shit like that. And then the fucking crackheads and shit just destroyed it, and people just making it such a cesspool that they literally, the state's decision was just to fucking drain it. They just drained it, because we have down here a bunch of like sand quarries that they'll fill up with water and then put fish in, right?
Yeah.
But then it got so bad with this like other activity, and then people just being just assholes, that they ended up draining it to fix the problem. And I'm like, that is fucking so counterintuitive.
Right.
And then the good spots, and they take all these fish and then they drop them in a lake nearby that is 100% surrounded by private property. There's no way to access it, but the water is public. So you pay the taxes on the water, but you can never access it.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
Jersey's I would not. I mean, I love this state. I'm not from here originally, but if Amanda, my wife, wasn't from here, we would not be retiring here. So, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like terrible fishing scenarios.
Well, it's tough. Like on the freshwater side, they don't give a fuck either. Everything's saltwater down here, so.
Yeah, I feel like that's more where I'm at as well. Like like more trout guys in New Hampshire.
Yep.
That's all they seem to really care about, like stocking or putting any, effort into. It's not like they're going and stocking places with amazing bass by any means. It's all just trout that's really being stocked.
And my favorite's when they stock trout here. I'm like, those motherfuckers aren't going to live for the next, like, after 3 months, they're going to die. It's going to be way too fucking hot. Like, are you kidding me? And it's literally, and it's that combat fishing scenario where it's like, they'll stock, and then like that, the next day or the next day after that, it's just dude after dude lined up. Everybody's throwing power bait, fucking chucking that shit in there. Yeah. Yeah. And they're like, oh, this is a great fishery.
Like a fishing derby back in the 90s.
Yeah.
When, it'd be like, all right, ready, set, go. And then it'd just be one clusterfuck of kids like lines. Well,
But in Jersey, they definitely, I mean, the saltwater fishing is great. I should probably do more of that, I guess, since I live on the coast of New Jersey. But
yeah, then you can actually eat the fish you catch.
Yeah, no shit, right? I got plans. I got plans this summer.
I don't eat seafood. I live in the Northeast, right on the seacoast, and I can't stand seafood.
Not everybody can be perfect.
Yeah. Not everybody can.
Hey, Derek, tell us this. So you said you got started like really seriously fishing 5-6 years ago. Was it for social media? What made you dive into want to really fish again? Or did you just want to pick up a hobby and that's what you geared towards? I'm interested in that for the reason of a lot of people piddle paddle dilly fish growing up, like you said, worm in a court.
Yeah.
The majority of folks drop it, never get back into it. So it intrigues me to know the catalyst that one day you woke up and were like, you know what, I want to fucking start fishing for real now.
So it was more or less on a whim. I was going through the split up of my kid's mom and I, and was just not in a very great place. Woke up early one morning. My youngest brother was getting ready to go fishing. It was something he kind of, was more into. And he just kind of asked if I wanted to go to get me up off the couch. Was like, yeah, screw it. Why not? Bought an ugly stick spinning setup and a few rooster tails, and went out and caught some trout and everything. And then it was just kind of like, all right, got me off the couch, and then went to a reservoir near my house and caught my first bass. And then that was about it, because that was a very different fight. And then I was like, all right, well, this is kind of cool. And then it just kind of spiraled from there. Yeah. And then it wasn't really like social media, that really got me into it. I just knew of social media, and then social media kind of helped with the learning process. It kind of helped, with the trial and error, because you kind of get to see what people are doing and what's working for them. And because I had no idea what was what. And so if it wasn't for, Instagram, really, I don't know how far along I would be, like where I'm at now.
We've had a lot of people tell the similar beginnings of, in general, I wasn't in a good place. And for whatever reason, their brother, somebody got them to go, or, they're just like, you know what, I want to go fishing again. I hadn't fished in a long time. And it's really amazing how you hear all these stories of folks going, I wasn't in a good place and I just went fishing. And then 5 years, 6 years, 10 years later, they'll say that's one of the things that maybe saved my life. And we hear that a lot with veterans that we've had on, that Alex talks to with that relationship. And then obviously all the veterans on the water stuff. And then we've got a bunch of military bases around here. We see it a lot locally with guys taking them on the bass boat. But yeah, it's interesting. That's why I asked, because you hear those stories of, that was my release. That was the way that I could connect with nature, whatever it was, clear my mind.
Yeah. I mean, I was big into like long distance backpacking and stuff like that for a long time. And then it's kind of hard to do when you've got young kids. So this was another way. So, I mean, I enjoy the outdoors. So, I mean, it was another way for me to be able to enjoy the outdoors in just a different, form.
Yeah, because you got to find something when you get to it. When your life changes and you have kids, you have to like skew those things. You can't do those long distance, right? You got to find something, the digestible nuggets of peace that you can find.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you can eventually, depending on what age you were at when you had kids.
Right.
Like, that's why I tried having, them young. So then that way, like me and my old lady get to actually enjoy somewhat of our life at some point.
When they're grown up, you're not old.
Yeah, you know, like I can still like run down the street or something and not, you know, have to.
Yeah, but you know, if you had them older, you could have ran down the street when you were 22, acting like a fool.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, speaking of long distance, have you done Appalachian Trail? Have you hiked Appalachian Trail? You said long distance hiking. Have you done the AT?
Yeah, I did the southern half in 2014.
Oh shit!
Nice.
So I hiked from
1,000
Georgia
miles
to Maryland. Yeah, it was. I mean, technically, it was like 1,019 trail miles that I did.
Yeah,
but that's not counting the side trails and the.
How many days does that take?
Town and everything, but yeah, that was an experience. That's something I ever hear people, you know, talking about it or wanting to do it. I tell them just to do it. Don't think. It's an amazing experience.
How many days did that take?
Way longer than it should have, but that's because you can plan as much as you want out there. And unless you just put blinders on and are just focused on the actual like hiking aspect and finishing it, it's a blast. I mean, it's a party highway. I mean, the shit that you can get yourself into is unreal. I got off trail for a month and a half, 2 months, and worked on an organic veggie farm in the middle of Virginia somewhere.
Hell yeah.
Wait,
like,
what?
Oh yeah, like just random oddball shit. Yeah, I was like chasing after some chick and everything, and next thing you know, her and I are at a farm somewhere, and we were there for almost 2 months. Yeah.
Just pickling carrots.
Yeah, I was picking tomatoes.
Yeah.
And selling them at a farmer's market. Ran my own little stand at a farmer's market.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Tomatoes. Yeah.
This is interesting because Alex and I have talked about, you know, the last 2 years I've gone down to Santee, and then with our local trails, there'll be some tournaments that are set up for that are long enough way that people can go camp and hang out. And in the kayak world, there's a ton of people who camp for tournaments, you know, tents, hammocks, all this stuff. And Alex and I have talked about this pretty neat little segue that because we got somebody here who does it, but we've talked about the camping aspect in the kayak fishing world is huge. And I mean, and then if you dive into the camping world, there's all kinds of shit out there for that. But that's another little aspect, you know, you having that camping and hiking background. I mean, you know, if you start to travel, you're more likely, instead of going and setting up in a hotel or, you know, Airbnb, you know, finding the campground and pitching your shit out there and doing it that way.
Yeah, I mean, like how we got a cabin for the Champlain trip. It's very different. When I went to Michigan, we stayed in our vehicles and in tents in a Cabela's parking lot in the middle of Detroit, Michigan.
That was you and Mike?
Me, Mike, another buddy of mine, whose also name is Mike. Yeah, it was the three of us.
Totally different, right? Yeah, but that's some of the adventure on it too. And I think like that, that's the sum of it. Like where sometimes it's not, I don't know, it sounds so cliche, right? But like catching the fish is not always the goal. Like, no, I mean it's kind of the goal,
it
right?
Was the memories of going there.
Exactly.
I mean, especially that was a 14-hour drive for me and my buddy. And I mean, which I was prepared to do on my own. And then he hit me up like 3 or 4 days before I left and was like, yo, would it be cool if I tagged along? He's like, I got gas money. I was like, dude, hell yeah.
Run it. Yeah. I don't care what you got. You got gas money. You're trying to traffic people. I don't care, but you got gas money. Let's do it.
But no, I was like, you know, and then it was him and I had, you know, a time just driving, you know, from New Hampshire to Michigan and everything. And
I do remember
not a lot of people, you know, are willing to, you know, just hop in their ride and cruise somewhere just to go, you know, meet people and go fishing and everything. It's not the common thing to do.
I remember when me and Amanda, my wife, have made the cross country trek. What are we at now? Like 8 times. We crossed over via car.
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna interrupt you. You don't have to keep saying Amanda, my wife. We know who your wife is.
Anyways,
you don't have to. You don't have to reiterate that.
We've done this, and I wish I would have been more into fishing when we made those trips, because we made these epic trips, and most of them were without kids, where we didn't have them yet, and we could have stopped. And we just stopped at some awesome places, but like we did like Yellowstone on the way to California, and I wish we would have like fished that whole area or done, you know what I mean? Something like I heard a little bit of regret.
Faithful has some really good smallmouth in it.
So Old Faithful is such a piece of shit. Like, it's such a tourist trap, and it's crazy. But like, we went up to I specifically, I'm not trying to hijack, as Paul keeps saying, but we went for like my dad's 50th. He's from Washington. We were in Cali at the time. We met up in Jackson, Wyoming. And that was really cool. We got to fish this river in Wyoming for like fly fish for trout. It was fucking awesome. And I wish we would have done that every time we crossed through. You know what I mean? Like, just done these little outdoor excursions. And even Amanda did it. And this is way earlier. And then it was like years later. She was like, "Oh shit, like, you grew up fishing. Like, why didn't you keep doing it?" I was like, "Well, you know, pussy."
I
mean,
I ran out of money.
Definitely a point where I don't think fishing was necessarily like the cool thing to do.
I still don't think it is, to be honest.
I think it's come a long ways.
I think it's come a long ways
after the whole like COVID thing, and it seemed like everybody. Christ, I'd walk into my Walmart, and I was like, I couldn't get a bobber if I wanted one.
Yeah, but I think all those people are out of it. And I do think
I can buy bobbers again.
Yep. And I do think a lot of people, this is just my absolutely professional opinion, being a podcast host. I think a lot of people who joined watched YouTube to learn how to fish, which is great. You should learn how to do that. But they got like the fucking the catch me shit. Like, I'm going to fish with a gummy worm. I'm always going to die on that hill on these fucking fishing challenges that actually hurt fishing more than it helps. And eventually, when, you know, the pandemic lifted for a lot of states, they left it behind because they saw this as a novelty.
No, I can.
Hey, little side note, real quick, before y'all get too deep into this. Little side note: summertime is setting in down here in North Carolina, and it's hot as fuck in this garage. And I've got my ceiling fan on high.
Oh my god! Nobody can hear it.
My ass is sweating, and I would be sitting here in my drawers with my shirt off if I didn't think our YouTube video would get canceled because of nudity. Because of my man tits hanging out, I would be shirtless right now. Just FYI.
Well, okay. So he's just expressed all of that. So again, how much do you guys want to buy those undies for?
Yeah, we'll start.
Well, I can't sell these. I just bought them.
Dude, we're gonna sell them for like $300. Well, you get 150, I get 150. Done.
Whoa! I'm not splitting my underwear in half with you.
AC unit.
Okay, hold on, Paul. You're definitely gonna split them in half with me because we're partners on the show, and you're sweating because of the show. De facto.
Okay, well then, if I'm splitting half with you, then I'm mailing you my underwear to mail to the recipient.
That's fine. Listen, I'll handle. I got biohazard suits left over.
Hey, speaking of that, did you send Sean his stickers?
I did not. But they are loaded up for tomorrow. They're going out tomorrow.
Your wife goes to the fucking post office every fucking single day of the week.
I am busy.
Just, like, give her a box of shit to mail.
I am busy keeping America safe. One shitty technical line at a time.
Okay, but that's not the point though. You can just hand her all the shit you need to mail and be like, hey, honey, when you get to work, can you mail this? She goes to the post office every day. Like you have the easiest mailing thing.
You've met her. Do you think it's really that easy?
Yes. You're like, here, honey, take this and mail it. You're going to the post office anyway.
Persona. She goes, bitch, I'm not from that post office. They can go fuck themselves.
Hey, start printing a label and setting that bitch out on the front porch for the mailman to pick up.
I should.
And then it's her.
All right, Derek, we're about ready to get to the most controversial.
Hold up. No. Hold up.
Every time. It's like he waits for it. He waits for it. He knows that it's coming, and he waits to interrupt every time. Oh, that's what you're going with?
Okay, now you can go.
Anyways, we're about ready to get to the most controversial part of the Bass and Brews podcast. The only scripted part of this podcast. This is either going to make or break you. But before we get there.
No, at the end, before you end it for real, I do have, actually, I'm going to say it now because you'll end it in the middle of it. Last week was really cool. I got to see J2. I got to meet J2 Country from the Instagram on the water. Got to meet and talk with him. Took a picture. Matter of fact, I got to make that post. So that was really cool. The other thing is, I got to fish with a guest, Trey.
Oh yeah,
from One Cast Fishing. Me and him went fishing Sunday morning, and we didn't catch up big, but we caught every fish in the lake, with the exception of
a big fish,
a bowfin, and a big fish. We sure enough did. So shout out to those two guys. That was a good ass time. We had to have a good ass time for sure. All right, Alex.
Are you ready now?
Go.
He's killing me. Anyways, Derek, I want to give you a chance before we get to the patent pending in Panama shotgun round. Anybody you'd like to shout out right now?
Shout out? Yeah. I'll shout out, how about my whole crew that's going to be going to Champlain. So we've got 2 different Mike, Q, Nate, and Dylan. And then myself. Yeah, it's going to be a great time.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Any sponsors? Any sponsors?
Yeah, I mean, so I've got Doobie Fishing. We've got Copper State Tackle, which they're one of my new sponsors for the year. I do have some, I guess, major sponsor changes that I went through this year. I'm not with 2 specific people, more just for a reason if I wanted the opportunity to throw new things, not just one specific company, and have some leniency with that. So that's why I partnered with Copper State, just because it's a tackle shop. They do still sell 6 cents, so people still can buy their 6 cents and support your boy with code Derek10.
Derek10, there you go.
Yeah. And I've got a real cool custom paint painter that I kind of partnered up with, Clickbaits. He does some amazing paint work. I definitely would go check his stuff out. I mean, he's got some phenomenal stuff.
Great marketing name, Clickbaits.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. He's got a different approach to some of his paint schemes. A lot of stuff that you don't necessarily see. It's not like your everyday standard colors and stuff like that, but quality is right up there. I mean, it's pretty stellar. And if you've got an idea, you can hit him up, and he'll make it happen. So nice. Clickbaits is definitely a good dude. Cross Kicks, some of the best, the one and only water shoe that you'll ever need.
That's gonna affect a question later.
Yeah,
and we'll get there. We're gonna ask that question because I've got some footwear changes happening, so and we're gonna talk.
All right. Yeah, we can talk.
All right, and, so I've interrupted Alex at least. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm interrupting you now, and you're not here to get interrupted. Alex, the only reason
I don't want to leave anybody out.
Good.
New Canoe. I mean, they're one of my. I mean, they're the best. They're some of the greatest people. I mean, just how they operate, like their company and their pro staff and everything. They're all about supporting us as much as we support them, which is hard to find, these days.
Absolutely.
So definitely
that's why we don't support anybody.
Yep. I also heard that New Canoe.
That's why we don't sponsor anybody.
Yeah. So total side point. I heard New Canoe, every member, they give them a full box of chocolate chip cookies every week. So I mean, that's just what I heard.
I'm missing out then.
Oh, well.
I've got some back ordered chocolate chip cookies that I should be reving.
New Canoe, send this man some cookies.
Yeah, I need my New Canoe chocolate chip cookies.
They're called Nukies.
Yeah, Nukies.
This motherfucker drank too much already.
Yeah, you can tell how old this podcast is.
Yeah,
with some of the terminology.
Whoa, we had fat jokes and now you're calling us old. Fuck you. This is our podcast.
Oh, yeah, fuck that. All right. Anyways. All right. We're about ready to get to. All right. Wait, real quick.
For the third time, we're ready to get to. For the third
Where can people find you, Derek?
Find me? Everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
As what?
Derek Morrissey Fishing.
There you go.
And it's Derek with 2 E's, 1 R, and a K.
Yep.
Yes. It's the only proper way to spell Derek.
I don't feel like that's. I think that's gonna be a shotgun round question from now on. How do you spell Derek?
Yeah. Don't let them RRICK people fool you. That's not the real way to spell Derek.
I know if you took out the E's and R's, it'd be Dick.
I like that. I'm using that from now on.
All right, man. We're gonna get to again. No, I'm not gonna keep blowing it up. We're gonna get to the shotgun round. Here's what it is. I'm gonna need your right off the cuff answer to these questions. We're gonna ask them rapid fire, but right away. I just need your answer. We don't need an explanation unless we ask for it. And as always, the Brewskis will fucking grill you for it. So, Texas or wacky?
Texas.
Okay. Hype music or slow jams?
Hype.
This is
you look
completely
like some Travis Barker type of hype music too.
Yeah.
I don't even know who that is. I think it was with like One Direction or something like that.
Fuck off. This is completely off cuff, but it has to kind of relate to your trip. Do you have enough death metal and coffee for Mike Goes Fishing?
Never enough.
Never enough.
No.
Are you going to spend more on a rod or a reel?
Reel.
Hell yeah. Crocs or flops?
Ooh. Flops.
He just said he was with this other brand.
Yeah,
but they're not Crocs.
They're not Crocs.
But they're not flops either.
But hold up, we do have that is that's kind of a fucked up question because we got flops, which is a type of footwear, and then we have a name brand of a type of
You're right. There's new brands of those.
But but I feel like that name brand has like turned into its own category.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Is.
Like, Crocs means like a giant plastic fucking shoe you put on your foot.
Yeah, and that's not what cross kicks are. So
I don't know if this is true or not. I saw it on TikTok. I don't know if it's true or not. But when they were making the movie Idiocracy, apparently their wardrobe budget was nothing. It was nothing. And so the wardrobe person was trying to find the cheapest shoes for people to wear. And they found Crocs and were like, this is the stupidest shit nobody would ever fucking wear this in real life. And if you've ever seen the movie Idiocracy, right, is kind of built off of that stupid shit. It was like, nobody, this is great. Nobody would ever wear this kind of shit. And so if you go back and look at that movie, everybody that's in the uniforms and all the shit that they're wearing these like magenta Crocs. And then, 10 years later, Crocs fucking take off.
Yeah, I mean, now people are like, "Oh, your Crocs in sport mode."
Yeah. All right, Brewskis, I want you guys to go back.
I wore out the whole. Damn it, Alex! You heard me talking. You will not win the talk over conversation. I wore my Crocs out. They have holes in the soles.
Damn. Okay. That's tough to do.
Mainly because
nobody needed to hear that. But anyway, Brewskis, do you think we should change that to something else? Let us know.
Flops or foot condoms? Holes in them.
That's never mind. I take that back, Brewskis. That's the new fucking. That's a new question. Hey, Derek, have you ever eaten? I'm sorry. Do you eat largemouth bass?
No, I don't eat fish.
You don't eat fish?
No.
Well, because you don't eat fish. Go ahead.
You're forgetting one.
I'm not. I'm leaning up to it, dickhead.
No, I thought you forgot one of the other stupid ass.
I did not, you fucking dickhead.
Why do you have the list?
Nope.
I'm not pulling out my list. I'm going to get all the hate mail about you forgetting questions. So I'm not, this is all you.
Well, you won't, because I run all the social media for us. You don't do anything.
Bitch, they know my social media names and they call me because we still have a group of people that think you're not real.
That's true. Derek, since you don't eat fish, have you ever eaten beaver?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, yes.
Wait, well, which one is it?
Yeah. I've eaten plenty of beaver.
Well, you have? Well, how did you prepare it?
I mean, as is.
Okay. Like you just
something weird happened.
Like, did you eat the tail or the rump? Or?
Yeah, I think we might be talking about two different things here.
Oh.
The fucking beaver that makes dams in the water. That makes sounds like whoop, 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 whoop,
no.
Whoop, whoop.
I have had squirrel though.
Okay.
When I was hiking the AT at that farm that I stopped at. Yeah.
That makes sense. A farm in Virginia. You ate squirrel, I'm sure.
Yeah, you ate squirrel. I'm sure you had beaver there too.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of that, Sean the fisherman from Jugs and Bugs ate beaver. I think this past weekend or last weekend.
Oh, congrats to Mrs. Sean.
I bet you beaver.
I think Nelson brought up beaver steak or barbecue beaver or beaver steak. I can't remember. They said on their podcast.
That's good.
But they had beaver burgers. Maybe it was beaver burgers. I can't remember.
Beaver burgers. All right.
We have to ask Sean about
beavers in my area. So
there's a lot of beavers in New Hampshire.
There's some big ones too. They'd probably taste pretty good if you were really that hungry.
It's delicious, man. You cook it up, put it on the grill like you would a whole hog, and pull it, barbecue sauce it. Man, ain't nothing like good pulled beaver.
Pulled beaver.
Listen, I love pulling beaver. I can't at this point. Oh shit. All right. You're fishing for 3 hours. Oh, fuck me, Paul. You're fishing for 3 hours. Would you rather catch 5 2-pounders or 1 7-pounder?
1 7-pounder.
All right.
Yeah.
You better move from New Hampshire because it probably ain't gonna fucking happen.
No. That's why I said I gotta get the hell out of here. My kids need to grow up fast.
Hey, can we move them up like 4 or 5 grades?
Everybody's telling their kids to slow down. I'm like, can we get this shit going?
I gotta catch a 7-pounder.
Paul, did I cover them all before the last one?
I don't know. I told you this was all on your shoulders tonight. Right. I'm not carrying you anymore. Even though you fit in my front shirt pocket, I'm not carrying you anymore.
Listen, the bass historian Tori will let us know if we missed it, but this is really the linchpin on whether you're going to leave this experience to hit, you know, the highest highs that you could, or whether you're going to hit the dark waters. And this question is, every good fisherman loves a good sandwich. What are your top 3 sandwich proteins? And before we start, I just want to make sure you're clear. You will be internet famous if you fuck this up.
Oh my God. Peanut butter.
Wonderful.
Yeah. I guess let's do buffalo chicken.
Perfect.
Yeah. And steak.
Yes. All great answers. All great proteins. So I mean, Brewskis, you guys can hit them on the peanut butter if you want, but I feel like that's still a valid answer.
No, that's protein enough.
Yep.
It's acceptable.
What do you mean? Like, isn't there like 12 grams of protein?
Yeah, no, it's great.
Peanut butter.
I don't know. Alex is trying to make a mountain out of a molehill, and the bitch is shorter than an
I'm just trying to make a connection to where I think actually there's fucking Bailey sent me a thing, I think, where there's as much protein in spinach as there is fucking peanut butter, because he said spinach. And then also I'm pretty sure Delirious sent me a thing about how there's a bunch of protein in cheese.
Oh God.
Yeah, so
wait, so these were answers.
Yep, these are the most.
Have to give Delirious. So
yeah,
he's a good buddy of mine.
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Ask him about it. Make him a cheese sandwich next time.
Delirious.
Make him a protein drink. Make him a protein drink. Just put milk and grind up some like sharp cheddar. Hey, buddy, I'll make you a protein drink.
Cheddar cheese and stuff.
That's it.
A little garnish. Like, hey man, I heard this was your favorite, on the water protein.
Oh, he's gonna kill you. He's gonna kill you.
Literally.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny.
Oh, did y'all watch Bobby's Instagram where he made where Delirious cooked chimichangas?
Yes.
At the campsite?
Yes.
Oh. That shit made me so hungry I had to stop by Taco Bell.
Well, the best thing about Taco Bell is that we normally have to